Coffee with an Expert is a monthly meeting series, 30 minutes every month to discuss digital manufacturing and smart factories with our GE Vernova experts. Thank you for joining this first session of 2025. See our schedule for the year. Feel free to register for the sessions of your interest. We'll cover topics such as smart factory for the food industry or streamlining the shop floor schedule. Next month, we will talk about cybersecurity by design. The topic that brings us together today is AI Assistant for Proficy Smart Factory, Chat with Proficy Smart Factory. Let's give a warm welcome to our experts from the business consultant team, Denis Hasselman and Michal Jarinsky. They come ready to inspire you about the potential of AI in Smart Factory and show you how the GE Vernova Proficy is leveraging Gen AI to chat with Proficy Smart Factory and enable the connected worker. Our expert will show you how it could be like to chat with a smart factory system. Michal, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you have your coffee cup ready the same way as we do. I would like to kick off this presentation with a brief look at the agenda. We will start off with a brief description who we are and what makes us unique. Afterwards, we will swiftly change to generative AI description. So we want to establish a few naming definitions that are often confused. And afterwards, we will jump into two initiatives that we worked on as a proof of concept. The first one being is Proficy AI Assistant. And the second one is about controlling Proficy MES with Alexa voice command language. We are GE Vernova, and we are present in almost every industry with installations in thousands of plants across the world. What differentiates us is that we inherit the manufacturing spirit. We are manufacturers ourselves, and when it comes to software, we often say that we drink our own champagne. Being broadly present and having vast collaborations with system integrators and channel partners makes us globally available to you. We always want to be close to the customer, so to drive innovation, to partner together, and to come up with innovative solutions. The background of today's presentation, of today's coffee meeting, is that artificial intelligence, machine learning, and also generative AI is cited by business and technology leaders as one of the most transformational technology advancements of our time. We want to show you how GE Vernova Proficy is focused on leveraging AI in a focused way to help manufacturers solve specific problems. The objectives of today is to provide an overview of AI and Gen AI solutions, to describe benefits of leveraging these tools to increase effectiveness and efficiency of your plant, and to, as I mentioned in the beginning, outline two specific proof of concepts that we've been working on. Before we go deep into details, it's worth to establish common naming definitions of few terms. AI, artificial intelligence, is the broadest term. The models, techniques, and mathematics behind has been there for a while, for many years actually, but what enabled AI to expand is really the availability and the cost of the computational power that we have seen very recently. Machine learning is a subset of AI. It focuses on algorithms that can learn from the past and generalize to unseen data. As a subdiscipline of such, neural networks emerged, and these algorithms started to surpass previous in performance, and this also opened the path to deep learning. Term deep here refers to a level of depth, a number of neural network layers. This approach enabled high accuracy of models and proved excellent for image and speech recognition, as well as natural language processing. Generative AI is a fourth subset from the slide. It focuses on creation of new content, such as text, image, music, code, or even movie. And these advanced systems focus on understanding and generating of these contents. In the scenario today, we will be also using the last subsection visible here, which is foundational models. The other name is large language models that focus on manipulating the human language. In our plan today, we have two initiatives focused on expanding MES to AI capabilities. To utilize the scenario, together with my friend Dennis, we will be taking part in a role play where Dennis will be a digital transformation leader focused on technical implementation of the solution, whereas I will be a production manager who tries to leverage the outcomes of that and understand what possibilities it gives me from the business perspective. Dennis, I'm super curious, what can you show me in terms of the initiatives that you've been working on in the plant? So let me ask you this. Is there anything specific that you want to show me today?
Yeah, definitely, Michał, because actually we have worked on our digital transformation journey in the plant, and we started actually connecting our machines, getting historical data with historians from them, and continuing the journey with Smart Factory. We also created what we call a manufacturing context. So out of these sensor readings, we understood like what is relevant for production metrics, but also like what are efficiency KPIs and characteristics of the production process. Now, it's just as you told, we wanted to check some additional options with large language modeling. How can I use my own language to chat or even speak to this manufacturing context data? And exactly the first one, that chatting, is what we do with what we call our plant applications AI assistants, which helps us actually to explore the data. And well, I would like to take you to some examples of that. So when you actually launch a new session with the plant applications AI assistant from your computer, it asks you immediately like, yeah, how can I help you? Now, let me give you an example there. So what if I am after the current alarms, which are ongoing, I would say, in the plant? So I would just chat and say like, show me the active alarms currently in MES. And what it will reply you back is it will just give you the list with alarms. It will tell you like, look, these are the active alarms on these lines, these units specifically, and if, for example, somebody acknowledged them already or not. That's just a basic information set which is returned. But as you mentioned before, what if I want to have this in a specific format, like, and also historically, show me on a specific unit what are the alarms we had yesterday and give that in a tabular format. So I asked this to the PA AI assistants, and you see what I get back is exactly a table format response, which shows me the alarm list, which shows me their priorities, starts and end times, and additional contextual data I have available immediately in the format. I didn't code anything for this. It just returns me the data in the format I asked for. Now, talking about these formats, let's explore another example together. So what if I also want charts? Different type of visualization, because like giving text or giving a tabular format back is one thing, but what if I also want to show a more graphical way of interaction with the data? So I say, show me a chart of the alarms, and also I want that historically from yesterday. So by chatting that to the PlantApps AI assistant, it will just generate for me a chart which has a set of information of there related to, in this case, the alarms that we had. But if we explore further the use case, so let me start a new session here, and I am interested, for example, in the OEE capability. You see that I also can say like, okay, for a specific date, for a specific unit, just give me what the OEE values were, and give me that both as a table format and as a chart. So you can also start to combine visualizations in the same query you ask to the AI assistant, and then it will pull that up. So here's then the chart part. But it goes even further than that, because on the visualizations that you actually see, you might also be interested in what is actually the meanings of certain capabilities, because we have here the OE information bundled with an aspect of, let me say, the product that we were running, as well as also, let me say, which crew was involved, during which shift was it happening. And WP1 is actually something that I don't understand fully, so I can also ask the AI assistant to tell me something about that. So the next chat I actually put together is like, okay, now that I have my chart, tell me something about the full product name of WP1. And you see where we were first looking into alarm data, we were looking in general in efficiency data. Here we're going back to, let me say, the base configuration, the base manufacturing setup data of what are the products in the system. And it will respond me, of course, with what WP is about. And it tells me here that it is about a white paint 1 gallon product that we have been producing that time. Let's go for another example, because you see we can influence with our language what is the visualizations we're after. We can influence what data we are after. I showed already the example that I can go back, like give me data from yesterday, but it's also even possible to do a specific time range, for example. And that's what I'm doing next. So can you tell me, give me a daily overview of the OE percentages for a specific unit, and that going from August 16 till September 19. And you see that automatically the PlantApps AI assistant gathers that data for me. I didn't specify specifically which format I want, so it gives me a suggestion on, let me say, a tabular format. It bundles it for me also. You see here in a chart, so that I can see the evolution over time. But again, it's just by using my own language that I queried in a chat format here to the AI assistant, and it just returns me the information as displayed here in the example. Now, thinking about other manufacturing characteristical data, especially also when it comes, for example, to the product, I would say, the thing is, it also guides you. So if I say just show me results in a table format, of course, the AI assistant doesn't know at all what you want to see, which data you're after. So it also tells you where it can help. So if I ask show me results in a table format, it will also tell to you like, okay, can you tell me what you're really after? I can give you information about production data. I can tell you something about downtime, waste, alarming, and so on. So if I'm then back more specific in what data that I'm after, then I can also ask back to still give me a result. So in this case, I'm after, for example, product specifications. So again, master data in the MES system, master data which can also evolve over time, because specifications for a certain product, they might be valid also for a certain amount of time, and then a new set of specifications become applicable for a certain product. So in this case, I ask like, okay, I'm interested in this product. I'm interested in the specifications currently applicable on that type of equipment. And it returns me back the overview of all the lower limits, upper limits, warnings, thresholds, and the target value for that specific product. But what is interesting is also, again, if you put the historical aspect on top of it. So if you say like, look, I want to see the evolution also over the past 3 months. So technically same question, but with the historical characteristics. If you look back to an MES configuration point of view, you have made the specification configurations. You want to have that evolution here back in a tabular format, and you see You see the active one, you see when we have made changes to the specifications for that product, and we didn't write a single query for that. We just used our own language to talk to the AI assistant to bring me that data. Some other examples, I mean, again, if there are items which you don't understand what they are meaning, like for example, here in this case, what is LEL meaning? It's an abbreviation, sorry, for the lower entry limit. You ask that to the assistant, it replies back to you what it is all about. If we think other scenarios like, I want to interact with my Proficy historian data, querying what are the tags available in the system, you just say like, tell me which historian tags I have with the letter D inside. And it brings you back the list with the different tags. So you found the tag that you're interested in. Okay, the next step is like, let's ask to the AI assistant to, for example, trend me some of this information. So if we next ask to the assistant, make me a chart and show that also in a specific date and time format in this case, then you see it next pulls me up a chart and shows me the evolution during the time range I'm interested in, even with the specification on the axis where I really want a specific format of hour and minute. It can all do that for you, and technically we just ask by chat for that type of visualization, I would say. I mean, one last example perhaps. So if we look also about waste and a quality related KPI, it is actually the same concept, I would say. And one thing that is always interesting as it is guiding you, you could always say like, okay, look, can you now tell me technically what you all can do? Then you get back a list of all the things where the AI assistant can help you with and can assist on. It's also a bit of where it has knowledge to give you replies on. So having that said, Mihal, I mean, does it give you a perspective technically on your journey before? I mean, where you wanted to query the manufacturing data? What's your idea about this?
So Dennis, to be honest, I'm quite impressed because my journey, the previous journey that I had to take, was a little bit long when I compare it to what you showed me with the AI assistant. Obviously, building of queries is possible, but first I need to locate the data. Then I need to come up with a tool that visualizes it. What I've seen now is that you have one tool that combines all these benefits together. And it really gives me advantage in speeding up the configuration. The way that I extract data is I can choose the way I extract it, basically. So it can be a tabular format. It can also be a chart. So this really proves that efficiency can be increased. And the best part of that is I can do it with my own language. I don't really need to be technical enough. I just type it the way I understand it, and the model can guide me through it. So I can only say I'm super impressed by that project, and it's great that we have here. Now you really made me intrigued, and I need to say what else do we have? What else can you show me?
There is more. Of course, there is more. I mean, you know, I have an Alexa at home, and I just say, Alexa, can you please higher the temperature to 21 degrees? And Alexa will do that for you. Now, the point is like, we also wanted to get the perspective on how can an AI assistant help me by speech? So this is actually where we see in the world that there are a lot of Alexa-enabled devices, voice command-enabled devices in the world that have that capability. We find it at home. But can we also talk to Proficy Smart Factory, and how does that technically then work? So that's a bit the second exploration we've done, Mihal, because we wanted actually to pass events, triggers via speech and get an actual result. See a visualization, get details displayed. Now, how does that technically works? Well, first of all, you need something which is controlling the voice. And that is exactly what Amazon Alexa is doing. It enables actually a device to listen to somebody's voice, understand the voice command, and translate that into an actionable item. Now, an actionable item, what is that? Well, the point is like, we transfer actually the voice command, so show me the worst performing line, into an action which is happening or triggering on another AWS component, which is the AWS IoT core. It's a kind of message broker, so which is listening to incoming messages and making it available across other listeners. And one of these good listeners is, of course, Proficy Historian, which has an MQTT collector and is listening to what is coming as voice command translated by AWS Alexa into an actionable item on the other side, making visualizations, for example, in Operations Hub. Now, the nice thing about that is that these are what we call serverless workloads. So if you want to understand what that means that we didn't install Alexa servers or whatever. We didn't install a specific server to manage the AWS IoT core broker. These are all services available in the cloud, like Proficy Smart Factory Cloud. So by leveraging those services, we are actually able to say a command and translate it actually in a visualization. This is more or less how that flow looks like. And so the user says a command, give me the worst performing lines. This is translated into an action. These actions are learned to Alexa with so-called skills, what we name them, and they result into a function which is smarter than just a static thing, because we say like higher temperature to 21 degrees, set the machine parameter to 170 degrees. So we also give context. The command can be leveraged multiple times. And Historian listens to that, and Operations Hub changes the visualization. So let's look into this. Michał, why don't you explore this and speak to Alexa to see what it actually means?
Okay, let me try it. Let's really see if it's as easy as you said. So what could I do with this tool? I will try. I have my phone ready. This is a phone which I will open an Amazon Alexa app on it, and I will start with what you actually also said. So Alexa, show me worst performing lines using Connect Cloud. I'll give it one more try. Alexa, show me worst performing lines using Connect Cloud.
You should be able to see OEE data now.
So I'm interested in having an insight where my production is not going well. What I did, I started with the aggregated, with a message asking for aggregated list of the worst performing lines. And this is showing me two lines that have the worst OE performance. We can see that it is actually pretty bad. 60 and 65% OE is super bad. But what you refer to as a metadata can be passed here to enable me to see something really dynamically. That is the great advantage that we have. Another aspect that could help here is quality management. I will bring operator task list in a moment. So let's try it again. Alexa, show me operator tasks.
You should be able to see operator tasks now.
These are, this is in fact a list of activities that operator has to take. And they can either be, the activities here can be either time-based or event-driven. So starting with each order, for example, or after consecutive metal detector rejects. It can also be a checklist, which operator has to take after a changeover, for example. So this is the MES activity page that drives operator through the quality management. If some of the process variables is not going as expected, I can also have a detailed look at its value trend from the historian. Let's try it right now. Alexa, show me turbine speed.
You should be able to see tag history of speed now.
And this is actually trend browser from the historian. So it comes, it works across the products. And I again used metadata passing. I asked for the speed but I could also ask for the turbine temperature or turbine voltage. So the screen will be adjusted the way I ask for the data. The benefits from these are numerous. First of all, I can work hands-free, which means I can simply walking the plant with my mobile or with a tablet, asking for bringing the data close to me on my mobile device, as I did with the phone. It gives me real-time data access. Let's say something is remote in my plant, and I want to get an immediate view on that data. No problems. With just a few comments, I will bring it up. The third aspect, which Alexa covers, is training and support. Let's imagine I want to bring instructions or manuals to the operator that will guide him depending on which operation, for example, he takes. I can personalize it that way, so the operator gets instructions for a specific product and work, and this way he will work in a standard way. So Dennis, I'm super impressed by what you've seen, but what we have seen today. Thank you for showing this and for leading this in our plant. I'm really impressed.
It's my pleasure. So let's get back to Magali and see how it's going with the questions.
It's going very well. We have a lot of questions and a lot of activity in the chat. Thank you very much. So thank you very much for this presentation, Michael and Denise, and thank you very much for all your engagement. Could we show the last slide of the presentation, please? So please
Yes.
keep asking your questions. We also see that Mitan Solanki from the business consultant team also is active in the chat answering some questions. So thank you very much, Mitan. I've isolated a couple that have not been answered yet, so I will try to do my best. So first question is, what's the OEE calculation basis and data source?
So the base data source is, of course, your MES manufacturing data. So as you know, we collect the data in MES into the SQL data repository. There also the data gets aggregated together, and that's also how the data is then fed back into the AI capability. Yeah?
Another question, how does it work, the retraining on new data?
So let me take this one. When we think about the PA assistant that you have seen, it is actually trained on understanding your language, and it knows the structures of the tables. So it is able to query the data live. There is no need to retrain it when we think about the PA assistant specifically. The understanding of the language it has, the understanding of the model of the tables of the data which is there, it also has. So in this case, there is actually no need to retrain it. If we think broader in terms of, for example, predictive downtime, yes, that is something that probably could need a retrain. However, that is covered by a seasons product, and that is slightly a different topic. I believe we can have a discussion on this, but given the time, I would rather take this offline as we are already on top of the hour.
Yes, so feel free to reach out to our business consultant. You also see on the last slide the email of our colleague Cataldo Tarantini, who will be more than welcome to receive your requests or questions and dispatch them to the person that can best answer it. So feel free to reach out to him, cataldo.tarantini@ge.com. One last question. Please, how can one install this system and replicate this system in his workplace? Any material for installation or trainings needed?
Well, I think I will just answer first from the Alexa point of view. the capability is actually built on standard components. So it means that in Alexa, you have the possibility, for example, to define skills. Those skills are actually standard capability to be defined. Then the translation, I would say, there are standard scripts and models, let me say, to make the transformation of that in an actionable item. And then the flow of having a collector listening with historian, having the standard widgets and capability we have in Operations Hub or single pane of glass for visualization, leverage a whole tool set of standard components connected together. So that is actually quite easy to understand and also quite easy to achieve. But we can discuss, of course, about this capabilities offline. So feel free to reach out. That's also why we provide the context details of Cataldo here.
Yes, and there are still more questions coming, but we are over time, so I think we will have to answer those questions offline as well. This chat will still be active. So thank you very much, Denise, Michal, for your presentation. It's been very inspiring, and you kept us all very engaged with this presentation. Thank you for Michal for being active on the chat, and all the persons, Dana, Munia, involved with this preparation of this presentation. We will share the recording of this session. You will receive it by email, and feel free to replay it or share it with your colleagues. And to continue this exploration of the potential of AI, don't miss the Coffee with an Expert of March, which will be on AI in the shop floor. So, and feel free to reach out to Cataldo for more questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.